Be Frank Network.
Welcome to the Happy Never After podcast. I'm your host, Mara Merrick. As you know, I've been divorced a million times, 3 times, and broken engagement 7. So I'm a pro at breakups. I am so excited. You guys know I am a humongous Bravo fan. And
What was that?
one of my favorites from Summer House, Lindsay Hubbard. Hi.
Hi. Thanks for having me. I've never been engaged nor divorced.
I know. And I want to know what's wrong with you. No, I'm just kidding.
Honestly. What's wrong with you? 7? That's a
7.
lot.
I know. People always ask in public. And you're like, dude, can we just do this in private so I can say no politely, like, to you, and so you won't be embarrassed? Otherwise, I'm like, yes.
Like, do you give good blowjobs? Like, how do you get engaged 7 times?
I don't want to get married at all.
I'm just trying to lock down a boyfriend.
You have a boyfriend, don't you?
I mean, we'll see.
What?
Yes, I have a boyfriend.
Okay. I was like, I've been watching your perfect Instagram couple. I've been stalking.
He's very active. He likes to be like, which is good because I need somebody that keeps me busy.
Yes, and he's physically active and like active socially, or like.
Oh yeah.
Okay.
He's very active socially.
I know. I feel like you need someone with like the biggest dick energy, like, and I feel like working out gives you that. And he is very physical. Like he shows soccer pictures, right? And
Yeah.
stuff.
I mean,
Okay.
have you seen his body?
Oh my God.
It's insane.
Yeah. You too. I was like, you guys are like influencer magic together.
Yeah, maybe we should be like a couple
Yes, you should.
fitness influencers.
Yes.
Although I've probably gained like 10 pounds since summer ended. So
What?
I should
No,
work on
stop.
that.
You're tiny.
All of a sudden, like halfway through summer, I stop working out. I'm hungover every day.
They never show
I'm
you
bloated.
guys working out.
I'm bloated from like rosé, beer, and lover boys, and like and then all of a sudden the abs. Like I start with like 6 abs, and then like slowly goes down to like 2.
You're like, someone love me still.
Yeah, I'm shocked I got a boyfriend out of it. I don't know how it happened.
You met him over summer?
I did.
Oh my gosh, how'd you guys meet?
So he's the senior director of marketing for all of Tao Group, and my best friend.
I bartended there.
Oh, you did?
Yes.
Which at Tao downtown?
PhD.
Oh, a PhD.
Yeah.
Nice. So my best friend Yvonne was like, "You're coming to this white party at Tao," and I was like, I have a spray tan. I don't really want to get dressed up on a Wednesday. Like I have shit to do. And she's like, Lindsay, you're going to meet your husband here. You have to come. And I was like, fine. So I go and I just randomly sat next to him at dinner. And we got to talking and I was like, so what do you like to do? And he said he plays soccer and he's on an intramural soccer team. And I was like, oh, I grew up playing soccer. He's like, we're looking for girls for our team. And I was like, no. I haven't picked up a ball in years, but I would love to kick a soccer ball around with you. And that was it. And then we started.
You're such a good flirter. You're like a
I just
natural
relate.
flirt.
I just relate, on different
Well, you're a
levels to different
salesperson.
people.
Yeah.
Ultimately, yeah. I mean, I'm a publicist. You have to be
You have to mirror and mimic.
some sort of sales
Yeah.
as a publicist.
Yeah, you have to be able to close that deal. Okay, let's reel it back just a little bit because this is about breakups. And
Oh.
you did. I know.
Oh,
You don't
okay.
have
I can
to-
speak highly of that. Yeah, I got a lot of a lot of experience with breakups.
I mean,
too.
you had the very public one with Everett.
Mm-hmm.
And that was a little bit like you are such a strong alpha female and you kept going back.
Yeah.
Yeah.
That was a difficult one. Normally when you break up with somebody, you kind of just go your separate ways and you don't talk. And it's like easier. You throw yourself out there in the dating game. Everett and I share the exact same group of friends. So it was very difficult. Like we would go to a birthday party, a charity event, a social, anything for any of our friends. And we would run into each other. And it was like once you sort of got back into the fold, it was hard to get back out of the fold.
Yeah.
So it was difficult just constantly being around each other through group settings and friends.
Yeah, I constantly break up with my boyfriend, but that's just because I'm a dick, and I I will.
Your
I'll
current boyfriend?
Yes.
Oh, okay.
Yeah, I just am like, you know what? You don't want to do this, and then I just walk out. But the last time he finally was like, "Yep, that's what you do. You leave," and I was like, "Oh, okay." But I do feel like yours was a little bit more of like a roller coaster.
It definitely was.
Yeah.
Yeah, I tend to go for guys that bring me on a roller coaster. I like rides, but I think I'm learning now that maybe I should sit the roller coaster out and
Do you
just
think it's
like
because
swim down the lazy river on a tube.
Do you think it's because so my last guest I had on was Christina Hutchinson from Guys We Fucked, and we share that we both have bipolar mothers, and I know that you have a little bit of a tumultuous relationship with your mom. Are you talking to her?
No, I'm not.
No, I don't talk to my mom. I haven't talked to her in 9 years now.
Yeah, you saw in season 1 when I called her, that was the first time I spoke to her in 8 years. And then I ran into her at my little sister's wedding that October of 2015. And that was really it. I haven't spoken to her since. And here we are almost October 2019. So it's been another 4 years.
God, it's like maybe because you had that. Did you have that kind of relationship when you were growing up with her? Was it really tough with her?
Well, I grew up with my dad and my stepmom.
Okay.
And so I would see my mom every other weekend. I have had an on and off relationship with my mom since I was 11 years old, up until the point where I just decided to walk away. And it takes me a long time to do that, as you can tell. With past boyfriends, it's not easy for me to walk away from relationships. So it wasn't an easy decision for me. But I think at that point in my life, you have to make a decision where if somebody is toxic in your life, and in my case, it happened to be my mother. I didn't want to. I was going full force, in a forward moving direction, focused on my career and things that I needed to get done in life. And she was sort of trying to like
sabotage and pull you back.
Yeah, like pull me back. And I knew that if I would allow, that kind of toxicity into my life, then I would get sucked in, and I didn't want that to happen. So
does she live here?
I walked away. No, I think she's in Atlanta.
Oh,
last I checked. That's where she lived.
So she bounces around?
No, I mean we grew up in Florida.
Oh,
I'm from a small town called Stewart, and she was 20 minutes away. And then she moved to the west side of Florida, and then at somewhere along the last 10 or so years, she moved to Atlanta.
Your dad's like, has he ever stepped in to help you with your relationship with your mom?
No. I mean, I'm a pretty strong girl. My dad's my homeboy, by the way. He's like the funniest, goofiest, like best sense of humor. It's one of those things where I was always so strong and independent, even as a child and growing up, that, if I made a decision of what I wanted to do, like there was no real stopping me. So he's just sort of like, lets me be, and, doesn't really question it. He's like, you do you, girlfriend.
That's what you need in a relationship then. Do you think? Are you finding that now in your current one?
What? That he's like, you do you?
Yeah, you do you.
Yeah. Well, that's the only way it works. Is like if I date a guy, and yes, my current boyfriend is very much like this. It's like he lets me be me.
Yes.
And like he appreciates who I am as opposed to like try to change me. Does that make sense?
Yeah, I feel like there's like some people that find people like you that have like such big personalities and like huge energy, and they're like, yes, I love that about her, but I want to keep it all for myself. And they like,
oh yeah, no, he's not
in.
like that at all.
I feel like it's like those people like attached to people like you. They're like, oh, I'm gonna absolutely take over and just control you. And maybe have you ever dated anybody like that? Well, Everett was a little bit.
Everett wasn't controlling at all.
No.
I think that, since Everett, I like had the wildest dating experience last fall. I mean, I was like all over, the map when it came to dating. Oh my God. I started with, as you saw, I don't know if you saw last season 3.
With the
Turkish guy,
yes,
Payman?
I was like,
yeah. So I started with the Turkish guy.
He was so mean
He was
to you.
a little bit controlling.
Oh,
So
okay.
that clearly wasn't going to work for me.
I didn't like him immediately.
We broke up. And then I started dating this Indian guy, which was interesting. I don't know if you've ever dated an Indian guy. That was my first time. And I wound up like dating the whole family, which I said, which I didn't know was even possible because they all came in from India and like stayed with him at his apartment for a month. And there was like 10 of them. Swear to God, I can't make this up. And then, finally when they left, I hosted an event somewhere and about dating in New York. And we went back to his apartment and I walk upstairs and he had a duplex. I'm in the dark and all of a sudden I turn the corner and I see a silhouette of a person sitting on the couch. So I'm like, there's a human in here. There's a human in here. And so he flicks the lights up from downstairs, runs upstairs. And I was like, it's an Indian woman. And I knew that he had a wife, but they had been separated for 2.5 years. And
was she back in India? Was she?
No, she lives here in the city. So I knew all of these things,
yes.
But they've also been separated for 2.5 years at this point. And I'm like, so I automatically, when I saw it was an Indian woman, I knew who it was.
Her.
It was her.
Yeah.
So he runs upstairs, is like, you have to leave. What are you doing? And
how'd she get in?
Exactly. So he comes back up and I'm like, first, I have so many questions. Number one, why is your wife, ex-wife, whatever you want to call her, sitting in the dark drinking a glass of wine in your apartment at midnight on a Monday? Number two,
like it's okay.
Why does she have a key? Oh, she doesn't have a key. Okay, well, number three then, why did the doorman not warn us when we were walking in, like pull you aside and say, hey, heads up, your wife is here? So clearly that one didn't work out. Then I dated an Israeli guy at one point. He just wanted to be pen pals. I was like, dude, I don't need any more friends. Like, you can take me on a date if you want to talk to me, but stop texting me every day asking me to come over and take a nap with you. I mean, are you kidding me? Then I dated.
How long did you date?
I dated
Napper?
Drunk Jeff. Drunk Jeff was a wild one. I mean, he was. I only went out with him a couple of times, but there was some significant red flags where I was like, nah, this is not going to work.
How'd you meet Drunk Jeff?
I met him right before the summer ended, like right before Labor Day last summer, and he just came over and he started flirting with me, and I was like planning an event with my girlfriend, and I don't know, gave him my number, and we just started. He started hanging out, taking me on dates, and then all of a sudden he was drunk all the time, and I was like, okay, this is not gonna work. Like, I like Taylor Swift, but like I don't want to watch you dancing alone to Taylor Swift in your apartment, drinking, bottles and bottles of red wine. Like, this is getting weird. God.
I dated a guy that was like that, but with cocaine. He's like, do you like blow? And I was like, I mean, I've done it before. And he's like, and then he goes, yeah. Okay, cool. And then all of a sudden someone knocks at the door and then they leave. And I was like, oh, you bought blow now. I was like, dude, it's 3 p.m.
Yeah.
What are you doing? And then I was like, well, it's been a long time, so I'm going to let this ride out.
Oh, yeah. I mean, last fall was really wild. And then I finally met a guy who, I think when I met him, I was like, oh my gosh, you're American, you're from New York, you're a local dude, like you seem to be kind of normal, like sold, done, I'm in. So I was like, oh, you have a house in Westchester and you're, a member at the country club. Let's try this country club life. Turns out I am not for the country club life. Like, I am way too wild.
Your volume is a little higher than country club.
Right. Yes. And my fashion's a little bit edgier, like it was not for me. Yeah. But you know what? Here's the problem with what happened with that guy. Because I dated him pretty much, from January, February, up until like early June. I broke up with him at his birthday party.
6 months is long.
Yeah, 6 months. I also, in that situation, was dating the entire family. He has a brother and a sister who are very close in age to me. His sister and I really hit it off. Mm-hmm. So they kind of kept me in the relationship, even though it wasn't necessarily working out with him. And I looked at, I actually had this conversation with one of my best friends last night who I was catching up with. I was like, how did I miss so many signs? She's like, you didn't. you broke up with him all the time, Lindsay. But like it just never worked.
Like what were some
it
of
was
the
like
signs?
the breakups never like worked out. He basically bait and switched me. So, when they're putting their best foot forward and they're like, oh, I'm not a party boy. Oh, like I like to watch movies, and oh, I support the fact, that you're on TV, and oh, I totally get it, and like, I'm here for you. And then next thing you know, as the seasons warm up, the weather starts changing. Next thing you know, spring hits, and it's like, oh yeah, I'm gonna be playing golf every single weekend. That's my priority. And I'm like, okay, well, I spend my summers in the Hamptons, so I would appreciate if you could give me like 1 weekend a month. Well, like I like to play golf every weekend. I'm like, okay, so golf is your priority instead of, quality time with me.
Like not 1 week, like he wouldn't compromise.
No, like he would
all.
not compromise at all. It was, and so then that was a spring, and then and then it started getting even warmer, and the beach club at the country club opens up, and next thing you know, like summer, Party Boy comes out, and it's like he was getting fucked up every single weekend. And I was like, okay, this definitely doesn't work for me.
No.
So finally I just pulled the plug on that one.
You would have dated Kyle if you wanted that, like that.
Yeah, I've dated, but I'm over the Party Boy thing.
Yeah.
Like I just can't do it. And, I like to drink, don't get me wrong. I love, my fair share of rosé, but I'm not the girl. Like my version of partying is like going out with my girlfriends and doing birthday dinners and like,
having a nice dinner late and then going right to having a few drinks and then being done.
Yeah. Like I'm not like, you won't find me on the table unless it's,
well, also you're a public person.
A special occasion.
And what happened? What's your longest relationship?
I would probably Everett.
And then did you have any before that?
Relationships?
Yeah.
Yeah. Who did I dated this guy when I moved back to New York from LA in October of 2012, and a week later Sandy hits, so we're all uptown at Dorian's.
Yes. I was here during Sandy.
So I got a boyfriend out of Sandy, and
okay.
Yeah, no, it's great. A month into that relationship, he was like, I have to talk to you about something. So we go to brunch, and I'm like freaking out. I'm thinking like, what happened? Like we're together all the time. Like, did he cheat on me on accident? Like,
does he have any STDs?
Yeah, like what's going to happen here? And he is like, so I lied about my age. And at this time I'm 26, and he told me he was 25. And then next thing you know, he's like, yeah, I'm 23. So he was 3 years younger than me. It worked out that we dated for a year, but I think, age finally caught up to us. And I mean, as a 23-year-old boy in New York City, you're not really wanting to like have a serious relationship.
Yeah, no.
So there was that guy. That was a fun relationship. Who else?
Did you guys live together?
Did I ever date anyone in between him? I had to have. I
Did
think
you
I
date
just
in LA?
I dated in LA, but it's different in LA.
It is different. I lived there for a long time.
I dated an agent at CAA. I dated a couple of different managers. They don't like to put a definition on it.
They
but
don't.
but your whole group knows like you're dating, but they just don't like to define the relationship. So I had a couple of those, and that was fine. It doesn't really matter to me.
It's very weird out there. Like, it's very weird to meet people. I don't know. There was one guy that offered one of my engagements. I said yes, was because he was like, I just want to have you as, like, I'll put you on retainer, basically.
Yeah.
I'll give you $110,000 a year for your allowance cash. And then you get this credit card and you get this house. And I was like.
This was in LA?
Uh-huh. As I was a manager of Sports Club LA out there. Do you know on Sepulveda?
Yeah, of course I know what Sports Club LA is. Wait,
and
so
then,
so he wanted to be your sugar daddy?
Yes. And for 1 month I was like, sure. And then afterwards I was
How
like,
long did you date him?
I never did.
Really?
Yes.
Wow.
He used to come into my office every single day and just chat with me.
Was he good looking at least?
No.
Oh, okay.
He had like that steroid, like that weird pimple stuff going on. You know, when people take steroids for too long and you're like, when you like sit there and you're like, can I imagine fucking this dude? And you're like, no. So
did
gross.
you ever?
No.
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 Oh, wow.
Never.
So did you get a ring out of it?
I did. He let me keep it. He was so embarrassed. He was like, you can just have it. But
How many times have you been a sugar baby?
Just twice.
Okay, that was the only time.
that one time, and then I was with a billionaire for 4 years.
I'm so intrigued by that lifestyle.
It's really awful. Like, I don't know if you could do it unless you had like a lot of Percocet on hand. I don't think your personality could do it. I think we're very much like, I'm very outspoken now, but then I was very quiet. He gave me note cards that I could talk, like, here's all the topics that you can discuss tonight at dinner.
Right.
And I was like, okay.
Oh, wow.
Yeah.
No, that
crazy.
wouldn't work for me.
No.
I've oftentimes, like, I used to think about, like, could I ever do that? Like, could I date somebody who's rich, but I'm not, like, in love with, I'm not super attracted to? I can't do it.
I just feel like, I mean, I know people probably say this to you all the time, but like, oh, I feel like I know you from the show. But from what I see, I just feel like you want a big life. I don't know. Is that
what? I mean,
and
there's
just
different
mean, like,
ways to have a big
not
life.
material life, but like big love. Like, you're very passionate. Yeah.
I need love.
Yes,
I like,
me too.
You know, I think it's really important. I don't, you know, I've had multiple older, you know, like friends' dads and friends' moms, you know, give me advice. And, you know, the friend's dad is like, listen, sweetie, just go for the money. Love doesn't exist and it wears off. And then next thing you know, like, you're just heartbroken with no money. I'm like, well, I think that you can have both. Like,
yes.
I think, and I also think, like, I'm not looking for the guy to have like all this money. I want to contribute as well, because that's, like,
you have
I
a
need
very
to
successful career,
right? Like, I
Yes.
need to be able to contribute. So I think together combined, if we have enough money to raise a family, and, you know, that's
could
what
be
I'm
great.
looking for. But I also want to be in love with the guy.
Yeah, me too. I just want that like notebook love, you know, where you're just like so passionate. You just want to touch them every time they're in the room. Like that kind of love. And I have that with my boyfriend, but he's very Greek. And he's like, what are you doing all the time? I'm like, loving you. Let me love you.
Yeah.
Yeah. He doesn't touch.
How long have you been dating him?
2 years.
Oh, wow.
Yeah. I'm forcing myself on him hardcore.
Except you keep breaking up with him.
I know. Because he doesn't play my game. I'm like,
That's good, though.
I know.
You have
it's
to
great.
date somebody who doesn't play your game.
I
That's what's
know.
going on with me, and I'm learning a lot.
Like, what is he doing to you?
No, he just, like, you know, if I'm just being, you know, extra dramatic, or, you know, I'm about to get my period and I'm like a little bit more emotional in one way or another, you know, he's just like, okay, I'll just let you have the night, you know? And I'm like, but wait, no. He's like, I'll talk to you tomorrow.
I just went to Acapulco. I was PMSing hard there. And then I figured it out. I went to work out, and then I was like, oh. And then I came back to the room and I was like, hey. And he goes, oh, period come? I'm like, yeah. And I go, sorry about that whole last 4 days.
Yeah.
I was like, that was a crazy ride for you, huh?
Aw,
I know.
that's so funny. I know.
Poor guy. Yeah. So, you know, your guy sounds similar. Like,
He's very understanding.
Well, he's got a very serious job.
Yeah.
It's a crazy, crazy place. Like, all the different locations that they have.
Mm-hmm. So they have 27 venues in New York alone, and then 47 worldwide.
That's insane.
So he's pretty busy.
Yeah.
But that's nice. I want to be dating somebody with, like, a legit, you know, career.
Yeah, I started at Marquee in Vegas and then came here because when I was in LA, I would drive over and work there. And then I flew here and I was like, oh, I'll just go work at PhD as my first job. And I was like, yep, still the same. Still have to stay here with no clothes on. You're like, what do you want?
That's so funny.
Did you ever work
it's nice
in service?
because, you know, I grew up, like, working in the hospitality industry.
Mm-hmm.
You know, definitely in the service industry. I mean, from, you know, being a hostess to go girl at Outback Steakhouse to eventually, you know, working my way up to bartending all throughout college, shot girl, beer tub girl. You know, I was a server plenty of times. You know, and I majored in PR. So when I graduated, I wound up
Where'd you
being
go to school?
University of Florida. Go Gators. Come on. Are you kidding? When I went to school, we won 2 national basketball championships, 2 national football championships. I mean, I was spoiled my college career. Like, I don't understand how you go to college without winning national championships, because we won so many that I was like, whoa. What a time to be alive.
I went to UC San Diego. We were the Tritons. Have you guys ever heard of us?
No. I haven't.
Well, my billionaire
D1
boyfriend married a
schools.
gator.
Oh, okay.
Yeah, I stalked him on Instagram. I was like,
Is she blonde and tan?
she is, but her Instagram is like the pictures that he has of her look very different than the pictures that, you know how guys don't post your best pictures. I'm like, what? Just put her best foot forward. Come on, dude.
Yeah, I get that. I mean, people put terrible photos of me up all the time, but
there's no way that you take a bad photo.
Oh, there's definitely times when the sun hits just the right way and like all of a sudden your cellulite's right there and you're like, shit, why? Just move into the shade, Lindsay. What are you thinking?
Keep it in the dark. It looks best there.
Yeah, can we go under this tree over here? But yeah, so I became a hospitality publicist pretty immediately when I started my career after college. And, it's nice dating a guy who understands the hospitality world.
Yes.
We kind of speak the same language in that sense. And it's refreshing. And, it's not like I have to understand like some weird tech,
And you're kind of on the same
finance
schedule.
stuff that like these guys do all day long. Like, excuse me, what?
I know I had to learn all about barrels of oil. And I was like, uh-huh.
Yeah, exactly.
I was like,
See?
I'm in fitness. Okay, let's talk about that. Yeah, we never talk about weightlifting. Let's talk about that. Yeah, no, it was interesting. It is interesting to learn new things, but then after a while you're like, let's talk about common interests. Come on.
Yeah.
Are you guys on the same schedule?
Pretty much. I mean,
That's nice.
he works Monday through Friday and then he doesn't necessarily work at night.
Oh, he doesn't have to go in for things?
No, because he doesn't like work directly at any one venue or another. But of
like,
course, like if there's a big event, he'll go to that. Guess who else gets to go? Me.
Yeah.
It's not like
And they have big events.
Yeah, they just opened up a new restaurant at the new Moxie East Village downtown.
Oh, cool.
So Cathedral inside of there is this big, beautiful restaurant. So we went to the opening of that last week. And then,
Nice.
we went to mock service this past weekend, which was great. Like I get to enjoy the perks of my boyfriend and, for once, instead of my boyfriend enjoying the perks of what I get, my perks.
Do you find that you always lift up your boyfriends and then do you do that at all? Do
Like
you
put
try
them on
to
a pedestal?
put them on a pedestal, enable them, like help them with their careers and things like that? This guy seems like he's together, but
Yeah.
I'm talking about like past
In the past,
relationships.
yes. I've always been, sort of more familiar with the fixer uppers, I guess you could say. But it's a hard habit to get out of, is like finding a guy that I have to like, light the fire under.
Yes.
One of the biggest problems with my last boyfriend was he was so lazy.
The 23-year-old?
No, that was a long time ago. He definitely wasn't lazy. I can tell you that.
January.
Yeah,
I dated a 23-year-old. Yeah, January to June.
Yeah, so it was like, okay, I want to go do this. I want to go do that. And he was like, yeah, we'll figure it out. We'll figure it out. And then he would just lay on the couch the entire time. And I'm like, what the hell?
Let's do stuff.
Let's do stuff. Let's get active. Let's be fun. And, that's probably like one of the best things about my boyfriend now is he's so proactive and like just get shit done all day. And then I'm like, okay, I want to do this. And I want to do that. And he's like, he just books it. And then next thing you know, he's like, don't make plans. I'm like, okay.
Oh my God, that's so nice.
Yeah, it's so nice.
How did you get him to put you in Instagram photos? Let's talk about that.
What do you mean?
I have a chef. My boyfriend's a chef. He only takes pictures of food and he's like, do not put photos of me and you up there. But he thinks it's a jinx. He thinks like it'll ruin us if we put it up. And I'm like, come on, just let me just like do one.
Oh, I mean, I didn't like get him to. It's just more like he just
I was like,
did.
what's your trick?
There is no trick. I mean, yeah, we do so many fun things that I think, it's
like,
it's a natural progression of, putting up a photo.
all right, fine. All right, do you hear that, George? We have to do more fun things.
Yeah, yeah.
Get out there, book it. What is the worst date you think you've ever been on?
Oh my gosh. I've gotten this question a few times and
really?
it's one thing that like I have to always rack my brain and try and figure out like what the worst date I've ever been on is, because I told you all those weird stories before. But as far as an actual worst date, I really would have to think about that.
Do you remember the best date you've ever been on?
I mean, probably with my current boyfriend. Like, he took me to play soccer on our first date, which was actually 3 dates in one. Played soccer, then we watched the sunset on his roof, and then we went to a cute little French restaurant by his
Do you know
apartment.
that's called time traveling? If you want to sleep with a girl on the first date, you take them to 3 different locations.
Really?
Yes.
Is this in a book I should be reading?
It's like a dating trick. It's called time traveling because it's like you have girls will sleep with a guy emotionally on the 3rd date, and if you can get him to go to 3 different locations, it feels like a 3rd date.
Well, I didn't sleep with him that
Good
first
for
night.
you.
I was also on my period, so there was no shot.
I've accidentally bled all over people. I'm like, whoops.
But that's an interesting, yeah. You know, I'm currently reading the 5 love languages.
Oh yeah.
So I'm trying to figure out what love language I am, so
I feel
that
like I'm a couple.
did you read the book or did you just take
read
the quiz?
book.
Okay, you did.
Yeah.
So I'm getting through it. I'm probably going to finish it when I go to Europe this week. But I think I'm a couple too. If I were to guess, I would say I'm quality time.
Yes.
And touch, physical
Me too.
touch.
That's exactly what I
those
am.
would be my guesses. I'm finding that I think a lot of guys are words of affirmation.
Yes.
And
They love that.
and touch, you know, like I think, but like always, it's like I don't know if there's a guy out there that isn't like a words of affirmation guy.
Yeah, no, every single guy wants to be validated in everything that they're doing.
So do you do that with George?
Yes, all the time. If I don't tell him that his food is good immediately, like if I'm thinking about something or typing and I take a bite, he just stares at me and he's like, "Is it horrible? It's that horrible?" And I'm like, "Oh my God, it's lovely, honey. It's great." Like,
Yeah.
it's crazy. And I'm like, he will pout the rest of the day if I don't say it immediately. I'm like, dude, bro, chill. I have a job. I have like 19 jobs. Like I'm trying to, I fucked up. I'm sorry.
I'm just shocked he hasn't proposed in the last 2 years. If this is like the longest you've gone without getting a proposal.
He really does not want to get married, which is exactly why I wanted to date him, because I was like, perfect. I don't either, because the walls feel like they're closing in. Do you want to get married?
Yeah, of course I do. Are you kidding?
What do you want to, okay, what do you want to get married for? Like, what do you feel is going to change once you're married?
Not that I think anything's necessarily going to,
I'm
I hope nothing
pro-marriage.
changes. You know what I mean? I hope it doesn't change once I get married. I hope it stays.
It feels different.
Why though?
My first marriage was like real. It was like really real. I loved him. And as soon as we got married, it felt tighter. It felt like our relationship felt more bonded.
Okay.
And it felt like an actual physical connection all the time.
Like more intimacy.
Yeah.
And, you know, like you guys.
Just like very bonded. I don't know. There was just something different. It was like a very intense feeling about being married. And then, I mean, obviously I never had it again, but, but yeah, once we got divorced, it definitely felt like a death. And then I really held on to that marriage for like 10 years.
Oh, wow.
I didn't even think about, like, I didn't realize until I went into therapy, like full time, like, oh, you're still like emotionally married to this guy. You're not,
right.
You haven't let go. And I was like, oh, but now he's remarried and he gained 100 pounds. So, see you later.
Yeah. We're over that one. 10 years later.
Yeah. So I don't know. If he wouldn't have been a disaster, I'd still probably be married to him. And so that's why I am pro-marriage. And my sister has the best marriage that you've ever seen in your life. She married her 7th grade boyfriend. They went to Michigan State, Notre Dame, MIT together. Like, they're both super nerds. They're both very successful in their business. They have 2 beautiful children. They're obsessively in love with each other. It's so gross and cute. And they get up an hour before they have to go to work and sit and have coffee together and talk about their day.
Maybe that's the secret.
I know, like all this time.
Right.
Yeah. So do you want to have kids? Do you want to like?
Yeah. I mean, listen, like I just think the natural progression for me is like, you know, marriage and then kids.
Mm-hmm.
Like I still am this hopeless romantic that believes like no matter what the divorce rate is, I do believe that a successful marriage is out there.
Yes.
And like it's out there for me. And you know, I grew up with divorced parents. I think a lot of people.
When did they get divorced?
When I was young, like two or three.
Okay.
Yeah, it was a long time, you know.
Do you have siblings?
Super long time ago. I do. I have a full brother who is 16 months older than me. So he's 34.
Are you guys close?
You know, depends on the year.
Is he married?
He is, yeah.
Okay. Do you have nieces and nephews?
I have a stepsister
Okay.
who has a son, my nephew, Tyler, and then she is pregnant and expecting the second one in March.
Are you guys close?
Depends on the year.
Okay.
Depends on what happens at Christmas time, typically.
Yeah, my sister and I are very close, but we hardly ever talk. It's really weird.
Yeah.
Yeah. She's like very in love with her husband. I think that's the only relationship she needs.
Right.
I'm like, hello, I'm alive. Invite me over. I like your guest room and your full pantry.
Right.
Yeah. I love it. Yeah, I have a niece and nephew. They're great. And they tell me all the time, they're like, it's okay that you don't have children. We decided. I was like, oh God, that hurts so much.
Yeah, but on the bright side, you get to hang out, you know, with
Yeah.
your niece and nephew and then like send them back.
Yeah. Have a good, bye. I don't have to pay for any of that stuff.
I always like had this feeling that I would get pregnant out of wedlock, and I feel like it's still probably possible for that to happen.
Mhm.
But I still want to eventually get married,
Yeah.
mostly just because I like shiny things. Big shiny things.
I had one of my clients, she gave me her ring to hold on to. She's a radiologist and her husband's an oral surgeon, so you can imagine the ring size. And she didn't want to work out with it, so I put it in my pocket up here, and she forgot it. We forgot to give it back.
Yeah.
And I like pulled it out one time and looked at it really closely, and I was like, oh, I missed this. I missed the ring part. I was like, I should have put it on for a second before but I was so scared to take it out of my pocket the whole day. That thing was huge. It had to be at least 10 carats.
Wow.
Just in the center ring. I was like, holy shit, this thing is huge.
That is huge.
It's gigantic.
And like, yeah, engagement rings are not cheap.
No.
Like, I don't think people fully grasp like how much they are.
Well, my first one, I think it was 15 grand, which was like, I was 19 and that was $1 million to me.
Right.
Yeah. And then they progressively got more expensive. My billionaire one was like 450,000. I had to give that one
Holy
back.
shit.
I know.
How
It was
much? How many
beautiful.
carats was that?
It was 27 total carats.
What?
I know.
And you're talking to me about a 10 carat ring that your client has?
I know, but that one was like one rock in the center. This one had the big rectangle, and then it was too much for me. Like my fingers are small, so I was like, this is nice for like a chunkier hand.
Yeah, and like you don't want to wear it around town.
No, I would never. And I very much am a tomboy, and I was like, how am I going to go do anything with this? I'm going to go ride my bike. I can't be like, hey everyone.
Cars are crashing, and as you're like, they're getting blinded by a ring.
Yeah, I think more modest would be better. I liked my first one. It was just a round cut solitaire.
Yeah.
It was perfect. What do you want?
I don't know.
No, you don't know?
I have no idea. I'm like, haven't gotten anywhere close to even trying to figure out what I, would prefer in a wedding ring or an engagement ring.
You got to go shopping. You got to put it on your vision board.
Maybe my 2020 vision board.
Yeah, I don't know. I always had visions that I had like a child also, but maybe it's like my niece's daughter or something. I don't know. Do you have visions of that?
I would love to have children.
Yeah.
Yeah.
You want to have them yourself?
Yeah. I mean, as opposed to what? Adopting? I would adopt too if I could. And I haven't checked my fertility or like the quality of my eggs or how old my eggs are. You're
pretty young.
Well, I'm 33.
That's still young to have a baby.
But by the time you hit, by the time you hit 35, you're in geriatric.
Yes. Yeah, it's insane.
The fact that they call it geriatric
it's so
pregnancies
mean. is fuck off.
Yeah, it's awful. Now I'm like, shit, I got to get pregnant before I'm 35.
I know. Well, you should just get pregnant now.
Are you kidding me? Have you seen my lifestyle during the summertime?
Yes.
Obviously,
okay, maybe don't bring the kid on the weekends. Just pump and go to on the
No, I'll
weekend.
just like get a house next door. Be like, I'll be over here, guys.
Could you guys keep it down? The baby's sleeping.
Could you imagine? It's like Kyle Cook's birthday. And I'm like, listen, keep it down over there.
We're napping. Just 45 minutes. Quick 45.
Right.
Yeah. No, they would all murder you.
I know.
They would kill you. But you'd probably get them to be quiet.
Probably. I'd
Yeah.
be like, listen, we got to figure this out.
Well, I mean, if you have to get pregnant over the next couple of years, that's coming up quick.
Well, I don't have to, obviously. I just like the older that women get, and I know that there's a lot of technology out there now, let's say, God forbid, I can't get pregnant or it is very difficult. Like we have
By yourself?
IVF and stuff like that. But, the thing is it also is really hard on a woman's body. And as we get older, and our children get older, like running after them is even harder. Like we're slowing down. And so I want to be able to like still be young and like active and like running around with the kids, which I think I'm setting myself up for that, being so active myself. It's not like I'm, I still exercise all the time. I'm still doing, a bunch of different activities and sports. So I think I'll be fine. But these are things that I think about.
My best friend had her hips replaced after every single childbirth.
Oh my gosh.
I know.
See, exactly. I drank a lot of milk as a kid, but
that's good.
I've slowed down.
Do you weightlift?
Only when I only weightlift when I do like studio fitness classes. So like at Switch Playground, for instance. Have you ever been to Switch? Okay, so you spend 2 minutes at each station. There's 21 stations and you work out with a partner. So it's super fun. So, it's not intense weightlifting, but
what do you do for a workout other than Switch?
I'm a runner. Like right before I came here, I went running. I ran 4 miles on the East River.
That's really hard on your body.
Yeah.
So if
I do. I go to Soul Cycle.
I love
Soul Cycle. Or I'll do like Ripped Fitness or Barry's boot camp, like the running.
You do like super crazy intense workouts.
Well, listen, I could go to yoga, right? Because then it's like, oh, this is how you get zen. But like the way I get zen is by like high intensity workouts.
Yes.
Yeah. Like
killing yourself.
Because it's like it's my therapy. It's my time to clear my head. And I'm sweating all the booze out from the summer. There's like cases of Loverboy in my refrigerator still. I'm like, oh God.
Oh my God. Do you ever get sick of rosé?
No. That's the problem. And I'm like, I'm literally gonna go. I'm going to Spain and Italy on Thursday. And I just I don't get sick of rosé.
I drink champagne. That's my thing. And my boyfriend's always like, are you getting sick of champagne? I'm like, honestly, no. I was like, I'm good with it. Let's just do this.
Yeah, I am totally fine with rosé.
Yeah, come on.
I'm all about the Aperol spritzes.
Yes. I'm sorry.
Espresso martinis, when I'm feeling a little tired and need to pick it up a notch. But you got to watch out for those. They really kick you in the ass.
They really do. There's, God, I think I had 3 one night. And I was like, okay, so we're up till Sunday. Let's do it.
Hannah, so she met up with us on Saturday night.
Hannah Berner from Burning in Hell. Yes.
And so Hannah was like, she gets to the table and we're randomly sitting with Tyler Cameron from The Bachelor. I don't know how he joined our table, but he did.
He's very cute.
Yeah, well, he's hooking up with Gigi Hadid, so good.
Oh, okay.
Yeah.
I mean, basic bitch. No, I didn't know that.
Oh, yeah. Well, yeah, check into that. So Hannah rolls up and she sees that we're drinking espresso martini, so she naturally is like, I'll have an espresso martini. She DM'd me or texted me yesterday and she goes, I didn't sleep for 3 days, Lindsay. The espresso martini kept me up for 3 days. I'm like, well, at least you had fun with your cat Butter.
Is that what she's doing when she's IG storing her cat?
She just plays with Butter all day, every day.
I know.
She cracks
she's like,
me up.
Now I live in Queens, so I can hang out with my cat. I'm like, you can hang out with your cat anywhere.
Oh yeah,
like in any apartment.
Like every weekend, like on Sundays, she would be like, I miss Butter. I can't wait to see Butter. I'm like, it's kind of cute, you know?
I love her so much. I did her podcast, and then afterwards she was like all cutesy the whole time and talking about boys, and then we get downstairs and she's like, I just want to go get a hoagie. I was like, and that's why I love you so much.
Oh, yeah.
She's so cute.
Well, that's why Hannah and I get along, because we're both tomboys.
Yeah.
You know, like we both, like, she plays tennis. I, you know, play other sports, or at least grew up playing sports. And we can kind of understand like a guy's mentality a little bit more.
How'd you get so fashion forward? Because you have the tomboy side in you, which is super fun, but then you also have this super fashionable side too also. Did you?
I don't know. I just like enjoy, I'm a publicist at the same time, right?
Yeah.
So it's
So
like
you're playing a part. Like you're dressing for the scene.
Yeah.
Yeah. Did you want to do entertainment before? Because you dated agents and managers out in LA. Were you?
No, I never in my life thought I would wind up on a reality show. It just sort of, I fell into it.
Crazy.
Yeah. When I was living in LA, I wasn't like, I want to be an actress. No, I was a publicist. I was always the behind the camera, behind the scenes.
How did they
girl.
approach you about that? Because I was approached to do a divorce show, but I didn't have relationships
they found
with their
our
kids.
group of friends.
Oh.
And then they just started going around our group of friends and like picking us out. And then that's how it happened. Like we were all like season 1, like we all hung out together. We still all hang out together.
The twins.
Yeah.
Okay, so remember when she first like wasn't hanging out with Carl and had that one like
Lauren, you mean?
Yes, a Middle Eastern guy that came to a few parties.
Are you talking about season 2?
Maybe.
Okay.
There was like a guy that came and they went to like a birthday party together.
Okay, yeah, that was season 2.
He sent me his dick pic the first time that I met him because he told me that he wanted me to be his personal trainer. And then
he sent you a dick pic so that you would be his personal trainer?
He was like, he fronted that he wanted me to personal train him to get my number. And then he left the gym and sent me his dick pic and like him fucking 2 other girls immediately. And then I was watching the show and I was like, oh!
Oh my God. Well, does that work? Like,
no, I got him kicked out of the gym.
First of all, like dicks are not that cute.
And it was like Neapolitan. It was like dark, then very light, and then a little pink. And I was like, oh, this is like an ice cream.
It's like Rita's Italian ice. It's like all of a sudden it's like red, and then it's white, and then it's blue.
It's like a bomb pop.
You're like it's blue on the bottoms near the ball area, and now you're gonna have blue balls. So thank you for that.
Thank you. No, I can't be your trainer. Yeah, it was as soon as I saw the show, I was like, whoa, I've seen his dick.
Oh my gosh, I couldn't handle that. It's like I just like if ever there's like an accidental, you know, something comes through my Instagram, I'm like immediately blocking that person, like get away.
Oh my gosh, the one where it says this is sensitive, you should blur it. I immediately block it.
Oh, you do?
Oh my God, yes. I get a lot of
It depends if it's from like a girl.
Oh,
you know,
yeah.
I'll open it.
Does a girl ever have you ever gotten like a nude from a chick?
No.
Me either.
But like there's an account called, I think, Scissoring Lesbians that like they love me. And I was like, oh cool, okay, great. You know, I'll take it. This is perfect.
Thank you. I mean, sure. They need more lesbians like you. I mean,
exactly.
Yeah, I don't have any. I haven't had any crazy. I said on Jared Freed, I don't know if you've ever done Jared Freed's podcast called You Up on Betches. You'll probably end up doing it sometime. I'll connect you to, but you should do it. But I said one time jokingly that I liked dick pics. Joking. And I got a bunch of very creative ones, like some that had like spurting, like they put little gifs on them with like spurting stuff. And I was like, they took time, you know? They took their
wow.
time. I was like, I didn't really want this.
Do you ever save them and see what the actual timestamp is of the photo?
No. That is a good idea.
Yeah. Well, if anyone ever sends you a picture, just save it into your camera roll and it'll pop up with the actual timestamp of when that photo was taken.
No, I got one
and
with
where?
A mole on it once, like on the front, like a huge birthmark mole thing with like a few hairs. And I was like, yo, buddy, just roll it around to the other side of that circumference, you know? Like you got that's like a whole thing. You don't have to feature them all.
Yeah. I don't know why guys think that dick pics work. It's just gross.
It's just gross. We just want to feel it. We don't want to look at it a lot.
Yeah.
It's never like, that's not part of it where we're just staring at it. We're like, oh yeah, so turned on.
Right.
It's like hanging
And like,
out.
don't start with the dick pic. Like if you're like, if we're like in a long-term relationship, like maybe.
Have you ever done online dating? Because I feel like you get a lot of those from online dating.
Okay, so when the 6-monther
Yes.
and I broke up, you know, the lazy guy, the country club guy. So I downloaded Hinge because I was like, fuck this. I'm not going to let this guy, like I've never gotten over a boyfriend so quickly in my life. Swear to God. Like one day I was like, all right, I'm done. Like you don't get any more emotions.
That's
of
the
mine.
one that you liked his family, but not him.
Basically,
Yeah.
yes.
The sister. Your age. Yeah.
So I downloaded Hinge and I started like talking to these guys, but I never met up with them.
Any of them?
No.
Yeah, I haven't.
And then I met this new guy. So I was like, okay, well, delete.
Plus, you can't be doing that. You can't be doing.
I know,
Hinge.
that's why I've never done it before, and it's also still like it freaks me. You know who found me on Hinge? Drunk Jeff. I was like, I literally wrote back and I go, oh no. Like, please don't reach out to me.
Oh, Drunk Jeff. I just want to meet him. You were at Hannah's live show, right?
Yeah.
Okay, so
Were you
remember-
there?
Yes, I was.
I was there with my boyfriend.
Oh, dang it. I was in the back. I was by Francis. I was sitting with Francis Ellis. But Hannah was talking about, and I was also next to the British guy that she dated. What's his name?
Yeah, British Dave.
Yes, British Dave. So she was like, oh, he's not here. He's not here. And then she's like, it was British Dave. And he was like,
I love British Dave.
We all looked over. I was like,
British Dave is so sweet. He used to call me and be like, can I talk to you about Hannah? And I was like, yeah, of course. But I'm like, I also only have 10 minutes. So just to let you know and manage expectations, you know. And then I didn't really always have like the best advice because I was just like, I don't know. This is a tough one.
he's like, thank you for your 10 minutes.
Yeah. I love him though. He's so sweet.
Yeah, he's very nice. And he was way taller than I thought. Like on your show, he looked shorter. And then when I saw him in real life, I was like, he's huge.
That's what a lot of people say. Like,
Yeah.
even for me, I'm 5'8". And I guess because I'm always standing next to Carl, that when they see me in real life, they're like, oh my God, you're actually tall. Because I look so much shorter standing next to Carl, you know, because he's so huge.
Yeah, you're very petite. Like you have a very small frame. You're tall, but you're very small. Yeah,
Oh, thank you. We should
Yeah.
work out together.
We're not taking an Instagram photo together. Oh my God. Thank you so much for coming
This was so much fun.
This was so much fun.
I would like some Rosano.
They probably have some here at Sound Lounge. What do you have coming up? Do you have anything working out? Like anything that you want to promote? I mean, you have your Instagram that I'm sure everybody follows.
Yeah, I mean, if you don't follow me on Instagram, fuck you. I'm actually really cool. It's at Lynn's Hubs.
Why couldn't you get your name? Does somebody else
I didn't
have
want my
it?
name.
Oh,
I
you
like
wanted
it.
Lynn's Hubs.
Yeah, I like Lynn's Hubs.
I looked it up and I was like, who are all these people that have her name? Did they do this to her?
I'm okay with that. Like a lot of people call me Hubs.
Oh, okay,
Like,
got it.
Like a lot of my friends call me Hubs. And it's just like, it's sort of always
Tomboy.
been my nickname. My PR firm is called Hub House with 2 B's,
Very
HUBB.
good.
You know, so and if it's not Hubs, it's Lynn's. Like it's like,
Lynn's
you know,
Hubs.
I like nicknames.
Yeah, that's cute. It's more intimate.
Yeah, and you know, I don't think that people are always searching Lindsay, and if you do, I still pop up. So yeah,
True.
so find me on Instagram at Lynn's Hubs. Same with Twitter, even though I'm not super active on Twitter. And
either.
that's really it.
I get one tweet out a month, and I'm like, I'm proud of myself.
Yeah.
Okay, perfect.
But thanks for having me.
Oh my God, that was it best.
I
can't
know.
wait
We'll
for
have
next
to
season.
redo this.
I know.
In 6 months, you'll have to
Yes.
see where I'm at with
I know.
my
I'm
relationship.
gonna stalk you forever. I'm gonna be like, how's it going?
Well, I'm going to Europe like,
With him.
in like 2 days. So
How long?
keep an eye on the stories for like 10 days.
Oh, I just went on a 10-day trip to Mexico with mine.
Oh, yeah, I always wind up in Mexico.
Yeah, I went to Acapulco. Yeah, it was great.
I'm like, there's always a bachelorette. Like I was in Tulum in August for a bachelorette. And then I was in Playa del Carmen for a wedding for another best friend in last January. So I'm like, can we go to Spain? Can we go to Italy?
Anywhere else?
Like I'm always in Mexico.
Plus, it's so hot right now down there, and it's stormy season, so it's probably best that you go the other way.
Yeah.
Yeah. And this way you can be like Italy romantic.
Yeah.
Oh my God.
Exactly.
You're going to have the best pictures.
Yeah, I'm going to come back pregnant probably.
Yes. Oh my God. Yes. Please follow Lindsay Hubbs and follow us at Happy Never After Podcast. And love you guys. Bye.
Bye.